This is a bit of a different video than I'm used to making, but I've wanted to make this one for a really long time. We hear all the time about brain rot, TikTok being a net loss for society, and stupid trends that result in literal death. Though every once in a while, there's a trend that comes along that just rekindles my hope in humanity and makes me feel a little bit better about the world. So here are some of my favorite social media trends over the past few years. Easily my favorite out of all of them has to be the Adult Swim trend. Now this trend became popularized in the summer of 2021. I found it in March of 2023. That's YouTube Shorts in a nutshell, I guess. So when Adult Swim goes to air on TV, they like to show bumps before and after every commercial break, just like every other channel. But Adult Swim likes to use deadpan humor and unsettling images to scare off little kids that definitely should not be watching Adult Swim. You know, stuff like this. They also find creative ways to fit the Adult Swim logo into the bump. Yeah, it's right here. The bumps ended up becoming core memories for kids who grew up in the 2000s and the 2010s. And that shared nostalgia was channeled right onto TikTok. They used exactly the same messaging style as Adult Swim to provide creative humor or life advice. And then they followed that up with a creative way to show the Adult Swim logo. From personal experience, watching different compilations of this trend made me feel like all warm and fuzzy inside. Cause it's a direct demonstration of human ingenuity. People actually used their brains to create something that was genuinely awesome to see. And then there were people who were creating like insane animations for this kind of thing. And it's not like they could use ChatGPT for any of the ideas, because it didn't exist. Oh yeah, then there's also this. Hopecore and Hopelesscore follow roughly the same idea, but they have different purposes. Very different purposes. Hopecore is a trend obviously centered around providing hope, advice, motivation, tranquility. You'll see people giving their spiel in a square window with frequent cuts to animals and nature, complemented by the song Dramamine by Flawed Mangoes. Honestly, it's kind of beautiful to see. And many times there's very good advice that's being provided. But that's boring! Hopelesscore isn't! Hopelesscore takes the idea of people giving their spiel in square windows with frequent cuts to views of animals in nature, complemented by the song Dramamine by Flawed Mangoes. That's all the same. But it doesn't provide hope. It's the opposite. It's kind of like the 2025 revival of those demotivational posters. And it's funny as hell. It was so good that I felt the need to hop on the trend myself. Everyone's always like, oh, these new phone cameras are so crisp, they're so clear. Brother, what are you gonna do with them? What, you're telling me you're gonna record 8K 60 FPS ProRes log footage of your cat licking their rear end? Telling me you're gonna use all that camera power to record a 45-minute video essay on why pizza belongs on pineapple. And while Hopelesscore wasn't entirely beneficial for the world, it at least provided a really good laugh without being insanely offensive. Truly, absolute cinema. I don't think any TikTok trend can be as gratifying as this one was, and I am so glad that this became a cultural moment. At a Coldplay concert in Boston in July of 2025, there was a segment of the show where couples would appear up on the huge kiss cam. And if a couple appears on the kiss cam, it's supposed to be a very sweet moment. It just so happened that at this concert, two people who appeared up on the kiss cam were having an affair. And they weren't just any two people. The man that appeared was Andy Byron, the CEO of New York data company Astronomer. And the woman that appeared was Kristen Cabot, the head of HR for the same company. Andy Byron was cheating on his wife, and Kristen Cabot had already separated with her husband before this event occurred. Now it's no surprise that obviously cheating equals bad. So why is it on my list of favorite TikTok trends? It's because of what ensued. Byron was immediately fired from the company, and Cabot immediately resigned. And then the internet had an absolute field week. People were flaming the two left, right, and center, and different couples were recreating this event at different concerts and sporting events without cheating. With each new video that I watched, my smile grew larger and larger. I mean, there's really no justifiable excuse for cheating, and if there somehow is, then it's gotta be pretty damn specific and pretty damn exquisite. Basically, if you do cheat, you better get justice served. The common sentiment around Indonesian boat racing when it became a trend in the Western world was, I have never heard of this, I'm so confused. But if it weren't for this kid, we would have never found out what the sport was. Indonesian boat racing, or in this case pacu jalur, is exactly what it sounds like. Racing with boats in Indonesia.
Well, duh.
But the thing with Indonesian boat racing is that it's also meant to be a spectacle for the audience. So at the head of the boat, there's always one person who is tasked with putting on a show for the audience and serving as motivation for the other team members. And this kid, Ryan Arkandika, is the best example of this. And the reason for why he's so popular is very clear. I mean, look at how much aura this man possesses. Which is why people made it a trend, including celebrities. People just wanted to amass a fraction of the astronomical aura that he gained. I am people, by the way. Ryan Arkandika became the official ambassador of his town in Indonesia, and the trend also provided a boost to the career of rapper Melly Mike, whose song Young, Black and Rich was featured in most videos relating to this trend. February of 2023 was a nice time. It became even nicer because of this trend. So there's a TikTok filter that lets you provide an image from your photo library, and it'll show you what that image would look like if it were an album cover. Because album covers can be pretty much anything. They can be artistic, perfectionist, simple, confusing. So people were uploading literally anything just to see what stuck. And it was the viewer's job to put on their thinking caps. Remind me to never do that ever again. I'm sorry. And see if it would actually fit as an album cover. Honestly, most of the time the answer was yes. But remember that the cover for Joe Holly exists, so... I mean, there were some times where it was a no. There were a few other trends that I knew existed, but I didn't have enough commentary on, like Brat Summer, Reeler Cake, the insane 2026 dance trend. But if you want to see a video on those, and some other trends, leave a comment down below, and also comment down some of your favorite trends that I may have missed. And I guess that's it. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.